Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Tuesday morning live stream, Bitcoin Basics. We'll talk about the basics of Bitcoin and I'll take questions and do my very best to get them answered. Thanks for joining me this morning. Let's jump in. All right, so I was a little, there we go, how's that? I was a little late because at the last minute I realized my camera wasn't connected and I'm a mess as usual. I don't know what's going on there. So thanks for joining. I can see there's some people watching. That's great. Easy Profit had a fairly common question about hardware wallets. The Ledger Nano X or S, when you initialize them, they give you a 24-word recovery phrase. Now, this is basically a human-readable format of your master private key. So the master private key, which sits inside your device, will generate all of your wallets. So all you really need to do to clone all of your other wallets, to clone your wallets on a different device, is to simply take a brand new secondary device and restore it using that 24-word recovery phrase. When you do that, now you've got two devices with the exact same master private key. So that if you generate a wallet on one device, it will be on the other device. If you move Bitcoin into a wallet on one device, it will show up on the other device. They're basically mirror images of each other. I know that's a little difficult to wrap your head around, but it's mathematical. Basically, the master private key can be used to generate wallets, and they will always generate the exact same wallets every time. So if I go to my secondary device and create a Bitcoin wallet, it will generate the exact same wallet that is on the first device. It's kind of weird, kind of a mirror image thing. So I did want to talk about wallets today, so I'm glad you got me started on that topic. I don't know, these look kind of hard to read, so I am going to change my resolution here to make it magnify it for you guys. Let's do that. All right, and then I'll switch back to this guy so you can see things a little better. Yeah, that looks better. I was in 4K mode. So anyway, I wanted to go over this little section here because this is the crux of Bitcoin and how wallets work. So we ask about what is a wallet. A common misconception about Bitcoin wallets is that Bitcoin wallets contain Bitcoin, right? A lot of people think, oh, I just went out and I bought this wallet and all my Bitcoin's in here. That's a common misconception, and one of the questions that stems from that common misconception is people asking me things like, how much Bitcoin will fit in here, right? It doesn't work like that, right? Bitcoin is on the blockchain, right? So it's almost infinite unless we take into account the 21 million total Bitcoins that will ever be created. So, but it's as much as you can hold because it doesn't really, it's digital, right? It doesn't fill this device up. It doesn't work like that. So let's continue here. Let's get that going. Pooies. I clicked the ad. In fact, the wallet contains only keys. Now that's a key statement right there. This wallet does not contain Bitcoin. It contains keys. What are keys? Well, a private key is a very long number, but it works like a key, right? It unlocks Bitcoin. The coins, quote unquote, are recorded on the blockchain, on the Bitcoin network, right? Users control the coins on the network by signing transactions with the keys in their wallets. In a sense, a Bitcoin wallet is a keychain. And I've said this many times on my live streams, right? So here's the tip, right? Oh, and by the way, I'm in the online version of Mastering Bitcoin. And you can check it out down in the description here. If you scroll down here, where is that thing? All the way down a little further, excerpts from Mastering Bitcoin, the Bitcoin book. So I've got a link to it. Now, this is the free version that's online, and it's a great reference. Now, you can get the book itself. Oops. You can get the book itself on Amazon. It's a great book for learning everything you need to know about how Bitcoin works and the guts of Bitcoin and all that good stuff, right? Probably more than most people would really want to know, but a lot of people have questions, and you know, when you have a question that burns in your mind, you would like someone to be able to answer it. That's why I provide these live streams and why I cover these like basic questions. But the in-depth is in the book. So where were we here? All right, now here's the tip, right? This is chapter 5, I believe. Yeah, chapter 5, wallets. All right. Bitcoin wallets contain keys, not coins. Each user has a wallet containing keys. Wallets are really keychains containing pairs of private public keys. Now this is cryptography, right? The private public key cryptography, which they call asymmetric cryptography, which is pretty complicated. Users sign transactions with the keys. So simply like, I don't know, it's hard to imagine, but you know, with a check, the check, if I write a check for you, it's worthless until I sign it, right? You can take it to the bank and the bank will look at it and they'll go, hey, Rex forgot to sign this check. We can't cash it for you. So the signature on a regular paper check that you use for buying groceries or paying bills, that is like the digital key that we use to sign Bitcoin transactions. So it's sort of like in Korea. I used to live in Korea as an English teacher. They had these little stamps, ink stamps, and they were always red. And you could buy one with your name on it. And people would use that to sign things. They would just stamp them. So that little thing is like your digital private key in your Bitcoin wallet. You use it to authorize transactions. So unless I have that private key, then the Bitcoin that I own cannot go out, right? Now, in the sense of the ledger, the private key is held inside the device, never leaves the device. I use these little buttons to authorize transactions. So I know it's a little hard to wrap your head around, but let's do this. Users sign transactions with keys, thereby proving they own the transaction outputs. They're coins, in other words. The coins are stored on the blockchain in the form of transaction outputs, often noted as V out and TX out. That's kind of complicated, but under the hood you would see that kind of thing. So I'd like to move some Bitcoin around today. So we'll start with a withdrawal from my crypto.com account. Okay, I'm just going to share my phone with you guys. And that technology worked flawlessly today. That's all good. All right, so we're going to go into my crypto.com account. I'm going to go over here to accounts, and I'm going to go to Bitcoin. All right, I got a little bit of Bitcoin in here, and I'm going to withdraw the Bitcoin from my crypto.com account to my wallet. All right, so I'm going to hit transfer. I'll hit withdraw. I'm going to withdraw from my crypto.com account into my Bitcoin wallet. Now, I've already whitelisted this address, right? The address goes to this Bitcoin wallet here, which is in Ledger Live. Now, Ledger Live is the software interface to this keychain, right? So now I don't need to sign the transaction with the private keys in order to receive, right? Receiving is passive. I don't even have to have this thing connected to receive. That's also another common question that I get. Do I need to have this? Can I unplug this thing after I send Bitcoin from a Coinbase to my ledger? Do I have to keep it plugged in? I'll say, no, you don't. You don't even have to connect it at all if you just want to send Bitcoin into the wallet. Now, when you generate a new address, you need to have it connected. But I can reuse addresses to this wallet over and over again, and it will still go into the wallet, and I don't need to do anything with this, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to send this Bitcoin wallet address, you can have multiple receiving addresses, but one of the receiving addresses has already been whitelisted in my crypto.com account. So I'm going to go ahead and send to it. Just keep things simple today. Right, there we go. It says withdraw BTC at the top. Goes to my ledger. See that up at the very top there, this BC1Q8KW8968. That is the Bitcoin address of my Ledger Bitcoin wallet. So I'm going to tap withdraw Bitcoin. I'm going to tap in the field for editing where that $100 is. And then down below the withdraw button over to the right, I've got that max. I'm going to tap that. It just auto-fills the max. I'll hit withdraw. And I'm going to confirm that. And then I'm going to need my two-factor authentication, right? You should protect all of your... pooies. I just screwed up. Yeah, I'm going to have to start it. I accidentally quit the Crypto.com app. But that's okay. So that transaction bombed out. Let's try that again. Let's hit transfer, withdraw, external. We'll hit that withdraw again, the max. We'll confirm it one more time. And this time I'll try not to quit Crypto.com. All right, there's my Crypto.com code at the top of my Google Authenticator. I'm going to tap it. It goes into my clipboard. I'll slide back over here and I'll tap and paste and continue. Hopefully I did that on time before the code cycled, and it did. All right. Now, it's going to be a while before that Bitcoin actually hits my wallet. Exchanges have their own time frames, right? When I use the Bitcoin network from one Bitcoin wallet to another Bitcoin wallet, it's pretty fast. But when I'm withdrawing from exchanges, they have their own internal mechanisms, right? They've got queues, they've got servers, they've got, liquidity, they got all that stuff. So it takes a little bit of time for withdrawal transactions to process, especially Bitcoin for some reason. Just one of those things, right? So we can get that done. And let's go back. I want to say hello to everybody that's here. So I'm going to go over from exchanges. Here. They have their own internal. This is what I want. All right. Okay. I'm going to pop out chat and move it over here. Oh, looks like I got a spammer. Hello, spammer. Goodbye, spammer. Okay. See, that's why I should pay attention to what's going on over here. Looks like Bitcoin halving was a non-event. What are your thoughts? Hey, Rex, good morning. Hello, Bill Gates. Just show us your bank details. That's all we care about. That's nice of you, Nick. Nick, you're not being very nice either, so I'll say goodbye to you as well. All right. All right, so looks like the Bitcoin halving was a non-event. What are my thoughts? Okay, well, the Bitcoin halving event historically has, it basically lowers the supply of new Bitcoin, right? It doesn't do anything to the existing supply of Bitcoin. it just makes it harder to get new Bitcoin. I think harder. It just makes it slower, really. The miners get less whenever they win a block reward. Now, historically, if we look at the previous halvings, there was a spike in the price of Bitcoin post halving, and this is within a 1 to 2 year window. So the event of the halving, the fact that we just had the halving yesterday in the U.S., but today is the 12th, right? But we got it at about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday, but it was the 12th for most of the world. That event occurred, and now the halving reward for Bitcoin blockchain miners is less. But just because that occurred does not mean that suddenly, the world has changed, right? That Bitcoin should have shot up to 20,000 or 40,000. We had, like I said, traditionally, historically, it's a 1 to 2 year window post halving. So whether it will repeat that historic price action remains to be seen, right? The event itself is not really the driver of the price. I mean, it is in the long run, but not like the world wasn't going to change in a day. Now, there was a lot of anticipation in the Bitcoin community leading up to the halving. There was a lot of interest perked because of the halving event. And I've seen a lot of traffic on my YouTube channel. So for me, it was more than just a non-event because there was a lot of interest in Bitcoin, a lot of legitimacy added to Bitcoin because of this increased interest, and a lot of price action leading up to the halving. I mean, you cannot deny that Bitcoin 2020 is one of the best performing assets of the year. It has beat the stock market. It has beat gold. It's beat a lot of things when you look at the price of Bitcoin at the beginning of 2020 and the price of Bitcoin now. But when you cherry pick your time windows, anything can look impressive. Right? You could have chosen the time window March 11th to March 12th, and it would have looked disastrous, right? Because the price of Bitcoin crashed on March 12th, right? But if we look at the price from the beginning of the year to today's date, and that's a legitimate window because almost every asset looks at that, right? Price to date, right? Yearly price to date. They're arbitrary dates, but they have meaning for people. So we look at that, and Bitcoin looks pretty good. And so we had the halving yesterday. The price fell off before the halving, actually. We had the price action of Bitcoin was, let's take a look at the chart. Right, we're looking at 87.16. The price fell off, pardon me, a couple of days ago. I dropped my pen here. Sorry about that. Price fell off a couple of days ago. Let's look at the 7-day. Geez, this pen will not stay on my desk. Bad pen. Now I'm blurry. Okay, so here was our drop, and that was like May 9th. Right? That huge drop from, what was it? We were up, I know we were at 10,000 at some point. Whatever it was. Bitcoin had broken 10,000. And then it shot down to like 87, 81 on some exchanges, right? Oh, down here. Let's see where we got down here. 84. Okay, and it's been pretty volatile the last few days, which to me is good. I remember the heady days of 2017, and there was a lot of volatility leading up to the 20,000 all-time high. And it was funny because, there were a lot of naysayers, a lot of mainstream naysayers. And what I always noticed was, as the price of Bitcoin through the year 2017, from like mid-June to the end of the year, there wasn't a lot of mainstream coverage of Bitcoin, and most of it was negative. And it was usually when the price went down, right? So Bitcoin would go up $5,000, and then it would drop 3,000. And then the headlines would scream, Bitcoin plunges 3,000, then it would go up to like, it was 12,000, and then it would pull back to 9,000. And Bitcoin is crashing again. They were always like focusing on the pullbacks. But then we hit 20,000. Now, I know everyone says, it was just a bubble, and it never hit 20,000 again, and it hasn't. But Bitcoin was 1,000 at the, let's see if we can find it here. Bitcoin, what are we doing here? Year to date. Oh, I want all, sorry. We talked about year to date. There we go. At the beginning of 2017, let's see, right around January of 2017, Bitcoin was $9,073, or $1,000, right? And then at the end of 2017, it was 20,000, right? It was a 20-fold increase, right? But it has not seen that $1,000 mark since, right? So a lot of people always talk, whenever you read people, analyzing Bitcoin, they say Bitcoin is well off its all-time high of 20,000. And yes, it is, right? It's never seen that again. But it has never seen 1,000 again either, right? So if we look at 1,000 compared to where it is today, it's roughly 10,000, right? Tenfold increase since January of 2017. Not too shabby, right? And then if we look at year to date, what are we looking at here? Year to date, right? It was around 7,000. And then from 7,000 was up to, around 10,000. So that's like 30% increase. I don't know where it's at now. We always got to look at where it is now. But, and then here we were, at 10.4 in February, and just broke 10,000 a few days ago. So, I don't know. You want to call the Bitcoin halving event a non-event? I would say that it's a big deal, and it will probably play out to be a big deal as time goes by. Right? All right, so let's see. Who else is in here? Anybody legitimate asking real questions? Hey, Maxwell's Equations is here. That's cool. What happens if any digital assets moon? Are we faced with depositing to bank an unusually large, huge amount of money? Are there any sorts of best practices or steps for this sort of thing? Okay, that's a good question. So, there are a few strategies, but the main thing is if you buy a coin and it moons within a year and you cash out, then you're basically going to be paying your capital gains taxes. And on a 50%, less than a year, you're going to get, I think it's around 50% capital gains taxes. I don't know the exact. All I know is you get hit harder if you sell an asset within a year, as opposed to waiting a year. Now, you may not want to, so you don't want to cash out and get hit with capital gains. But if it moons and you put in 10,000 and it's worth 100,000 or 500,000, then okay, so it's 500,000, worth 500,000. You put in 10,000, and so you pay that half, and you got 250,000. Still not too shabby, right? And you're free and clear. You've paid the government what they own or what they owed. Now you could hang on to it longer than a year, but then again, it might crash. So you could flip it into Tether and just hang on to it so that you don't actually cash out. but I don't know. You might still have to pay some taxes on that transaction to Tether. So, but that, from Moon to Tether, the problem is that you're paying taxes on the gain of the Moon even when you flip to Tether. So there's really not a good solution to that except just biting the bullet and paying the taxes, right? I don't know if there's any tax advantages to moving it from Moon to Tether, or you might go Moon to Bitcoin. A lot of people think that way too. They say if I buy an altcoin that moons, I might just move it into Bitcoin and hang on to it, because Bitcoin is by most cryptocurrency people considered to be a long-term asset. So I've talked to a lot of people that say, hey, if a coin moons, I'll throw some into Bitcoin and cash out the rest, or whatever they decide they want to do, right? So, but you're dealing with a lot of money coming into your bank account. It's always going to raise eyebrows. I would, consult a tax accountant and decide the best way to deal with that kind of money moving into your bank account. Sometimes it raises eyebrows at the bank, right? They flag you, that kind of stuff. So you might want to spread it across different bank accounts. But the best thing to do is to have an accountant help you pay the taxes. And you could pay those in advance, make like a franchise tax payment or whatever, to cushion the blow for when, the tax man cometh. So, that's on you. But we don't know that anything is going to moon. Now, we could just hang on to whatever cryptocurrency moons until such time that becomes spendable, right? So Bitcoin is spendable. You can let Bitcoin moon and just spend it when you need it rather than cashing it out. Anyway, Mr. David is here. Thanks for joining morning. Good morning, Mr. David. It's good to see you. Haven't spoken to you in a while. Thanks, Egbert Eve. Thanks for your from the Netherlands. Great seeing you. Adam Ant. Happy having. Gino, hello. It's good to have you. Jason Ness. Will there be any coins given with the halving like Bitcoin Gold or Bitcoin Cash? I was looking to sell, but I don't want to miss out. The halving is not a hard fork. Hard forks are when the code diverges and like a new coin is created, like a mirror image of a coin. That's different. The halving is not that. The halving is different. The halving is just Bitcoin. And it's just the block rewards have gotten smaller. They went from 12.5, I believe, to 6.25. I'm not mistaken. I think it was it was 50, 25. Half of 25 is 12.5, and then half of 12.5 is 6.25. I think that's where we're at now. 6.25 Bitcoin per block reward. You know what? I'm going to turn off. I can see I'm glowing green over here because of my computer. So I'm going to change it to white. Okay, here we go. I've watched myself on my live streams before, and I'm like, why is the side of my face glowing? And it's because of my machine over there on the side. All right. Good morning, Rex. Good night here in Australia. LO, LO. LOL, LOL. Do you need to contact the bank in advance of such deposits? You might want to. I've talked to a few people, that I've helped with tech support and whatnot, and their bank has flagged them for large deposits, not even withdrawals, just large deposits. They look at it as money laundering, sort of. So, my thing is, it'll probably be more common as time goes by, and the banks won't raise their eyebrows so much when you liquidate cryptocurrency exchange accounts, especially if it's a big one like Coinbase or whatever. But yeah, why not? Call the bank ahead of time and let them know what you're doing. sit down with your banker and let them, show them the figures, print it out, show it to him, saying, hey, I've invested in some cryptocurrency. I've gained a lot of money. I want to withdraw it into my bank. I just want to let you know, probably better off. They probably still have to flag it, but at least they know in advance, and you might be able to, ask them what's going to happen. And if they say, oh, well, we're going to flag it, we're going to close your account if we see this kind of activity, you'll say, okay, I'll take my business elsewhere. I'll open another bank account that's more crypto friendly, and I'll do my withdrawals to them, right? Yeah, so if you ask in advance, maybe you'll have a better idea what's going to happen if you suddenly deposit 100 grand from your Coinbase account, or whatever, 50 grand, 5 grand, whatever it is that I've pulled a couple of thousand from Coinbase into my bank, and they didn't care. They didn't flag me. They didn't ask me what was going on. But it was never more than 5,000. I think it's 5,000 or 10,000 is the money laundering flag. So, yeah, talk to your bank in advance. But we're not there yet, right? We're just like, Mr. David, I have fallen behind on caring for my coins, Ledger Live, etc. Could you and I have a Zoom meeting and you clean up my act, move some coins to Binance and Coinbase, do this in a week or so? Sure, Mr. David, no problem. Just send me an email and we'll work something out. Rex, I was wondering if I stake Tasos, whenever I add more Tasos, do I have to end delegation and start it again? No, there's a way, like if you add, hey, that Bitcoin came in, didn't it? Wait a minute, let's do this. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, the Bitcoin that we sent from crypto.com today has been received, and I moved to that psychological 0.1 Bitcoin. Pretty cool, right? So now, the holdings in this wallet will kind of mirror the price of Bitcoin divided by 10. That makes it easy, right? So the price of, why is it 900? It's more than 0.1. It's got the 0.03, so that adds to it. But it should be like 872, right? It's a little more than that because of this this 0.00355592. So anyway, maybe I can clean that out and just make it an even 0.1. That might be cool. All right. So I'm sorry. The question was, Tasos. All right. So let's go over here to accounts, and we'll go to our Tasos. And as you can see, I'm staking Tasos right now, and there's a validator. I believe if you add more Tasos to this wallet, right, and the balance is higher. Let's say I add another 18 to this, and we double it so that it's like 36 Tasos. I believe you can go here to your delegator right here, where this is the amount that's being delegated. I can click here on these three dots and receive more, right? So that would be whatever happens to be in the account, if I remember, right? And right now there's nothing more to receive, but you could do it that way, right? Or you could completely end the delegation and just go back to your, whatever your total balance is, and then redelegate to a different validator or even the same one. But there's no need to end delegation completely and then add more Tasos and then redelegate. I believe this receive more will allow you to receive more of your balance into the delegation. So like if we've added more Tasos into the wallet, we could do receive more into the delegation and add more to the delegation, right? There would be spare Tasos that isn't delegated that could be added to the delegation. If we just have to deposit more Tasos into the wallet, right? And then you can add more than one Tasos account, right? So you could add a new account and have multiple Tasos wallets that are delegated to different delegators or even to the same delegator. But to me, it seems like you might want to just keep it simple, just use one Tasos account and add more to the delegation, or end the delegation and restart the whole thing, right? But there is a delay when you start a delegation before you start receiving your rewards. So I believe if you just do the receive more, then it'll just kind of hit the ground running, right? You'll continue to get your delegation from your original amount, and then after a few weeks or whatever months it takes for the new delegation to kick in, it'll start to get bigger, right? All right, so that's delegation. Good morning, crypto family. Wilder, good to have you. CR23HD37, good morning from New York, drinking coffee and watching me. That's cool. What is the 3 coins for staking? Well, we just talked about Tasos. You can do Tron. Having some trouble with Tron in my Ledger wallet, but you can stake Tron. Another one you can stake is Cardano, but you can't stake Cardano in the Ledger wallet directly. You can stake Bitcoin, but not from a Bitcoin wallet. If you're going to stake Bitcoin, you need to keep it on deposit at an exchange that will pay you interest. That's another way of staking, but that's not a pure staking. That's it's more like you're putting your Bitcoin in a bank as opposed to keeping it in your own wallet. So true staking would be from within your own wallet where you control the private key. We talked about private keys early on. Like this Tasos here is not in my wallet. It's on the Tasos blockchain, and my wallet controls the private keys, right? So that's the way that works. Atomic Wallet wouldn't allow me to send Digibyte to my Ledger Nano because I live in New York. But when I installed a VPN, I had no problem. I had no idea that Atomic Wallet would do that. I thought Atomic Wallet was, just an open source Bitcoin, pure Bitcoin wallet. But I guess Atomic Wallet has to obey the law, right? That's weird. I've never heard of a Bitcoin wallet not allowing you to send Bitcoin based on local regulations. That seems very strange. But I'm glad you got around it by the VPN. Interesting. Very interesting. RJ Lee, what are your thoughts on Paul Tudor Jones investing into Bitcoin? And do you think that Bitcoin will surge to 20,000 by the end of the year? I read that article about Paul Tudor Jones investing in Bitcoin and talking about Bitcoin. I think that's good news for crypto enthusiasts because it's just another validation of the value of Bitcoin. Most of the traditional mainstream investment types were very anti-Bitcoin. Warren Buffett called Bitcoin rat poison. I mean, most of the big mainstream investors bashed Bitcoin, right? So it's nice, and there were institutional between 2017 and today, there's been a lot of institutional interest and adoption in blockchain and Bitcoin, right? For a while there, it was blockchain, not Bitcoin, right? Blockchain is great, Bitcoin sucks. But now that's loosening up now, and they're becoming more pro-Bitcoin, or at least not totally against Bitcoin, right? Their recommendations are usually small percentages of your portfolio that you can afford to lose. But this Paul Tudor Jones things is pretty much, I would say that's kind of a turning point in one sense, not in total Bitcoin adoption, but at least in mainstream psychology, that there is such a big investor that's pro Bitcoin and is kind of putting his money where his mouth is. So yeah, I think that's good news. But join the party, right? We all knew about that. We've all been talking about that and investing in Bitcoin for years. At least I have. Not really investing, but just accumulating what I can afford. I don't really think of it much as investing anymore. I have some altcoins and I would like to see them moon, but my Bitcoin thing is just slow and steady accumulation of an asset that I feel will be worth more down the road, right? It's an investment that in my future, right? I'm not looking to like moon out on Bitcoin right away. I'm just looking to get as much as I can and hang on for dear life, right? It's just a smart play in my mind, right? It's the currency of the future, the technology of the future, the way to move value around of the future. I was sold on Bitcoin like back in 2016. I actually started with Bitcoin back in 2014 and thought it was cool and everything and mined it with a little miner I bought on eBay. Back then it was, it took me about a year and a half to mine 2 Bitcoins, right? It wasn't worth very much back then. But it wasn't until 2016 that I noticed that some of that Bitcoin that I had mined was starting to get worth more. And I started playing around with it and using it on the internet to buy things and was like very impressed with it. It was very fast. It was very, the fees were low. You could really divide it into low amounts. Back then, the Brave browser just started, and it used back in the day, the Brave browser actually used Bitcoin. It ran on Bitcoin, and you could micro pay Bitcoin to advertisers. It didn't really work out because of the volatility of Bitcoin. So Brave browser created its own token, BAT, which now runs in Brave browser. But that's when I was sold on Bitcoin, when I saw what it could do. Some of those things, like the micropayments, now that Bitcoin is so mainstream, haven't really come to fruition, but they can, right? The idea that I can, less than a penny. If I could pay less than a penny, why not, right? And someone that's collecting less than a penny from millions of people is getting, a nice little stream of income, right? So this idea of micropayments is also, part of Bitcoin too. So we can send Bitcoin from one place to another, across the room or across the world with equal ease. It's digital, it's decentralized. There are so many cool things about Bitcoin, right? Rather than just seeing it as, some sort of speculation, right? They always, whenever, that always in the news when they talk about the stock market like it's like for all the good and wonderful people of the world. But whenever they talk about like foreign exchanges and things, they always talk about speculators. And you always think of them as like, they've got like their bones are all crinkly, and then these speculators, the speculators, they've been destroying the stock market. These speculators, they destroying the price of oil, and the speculator is always like the bad guy. So I don't, not that they are, but I'm just saying, I'd rather not be a speculator in crypto, but more of a long-term investor, right? Or adopter, right? That's the way I see it. Anyway, how do you get BAT on your cell phone Brave off to uphold? Oh, everybody keeps asking me that. I think is it accumulating on your phone? Because mine doesn't accumulate anymore. Mine goes automatically. But the problem is, and we're talking about Brave browser here, Brave rewards, and then we're also talking about, if I'll show you this, we're also talking about the Brave browser on our phone, right? So the Brave browser on our phone, let's see here. Boom. Come on, Rex. There we go. I have 0. Okay, there's a little bit of BAT in there. Now, it will eventually... Let's go to settings here. Oh, I've got some BAT to claim on my... I'm earning BAT by using the Brave browser on my phone, right? So I'm going to hit claim. I'm going to claim whatever amount is awaiting for me on my phone, right? And let's go back here. All right, I did that. All right, let's see. Okay, so here is the wallet. It says your wallet. You'll notice there that there's no withdrawal, right? There's no withdrawal feature. It's not built in. Now let's look at Brave browser. There is a withdraw funds, right? Now, and because my withdrawal funds is linked to my Uphold account, every month the BAT in my Brave browser goes into my Uphold automatically. Once you've done it once, it will automatically start pulling it out of Brave every month and putting it in your Uphold wallet, right? Now, mine's a little weird because I just made a withdrawal not too long ago, so there's nothing in there at the moment, the Brave browser, right? But if we look at, I don't know if I can do this or not. This activity usually shows, yeah, you can see I moved some around. Uphold, I don't know why it says Uphold member. Because it should, yeah, I think it refers to the Brave browser as the Uphold member, which is kind of weird, right? But you can see these amounts here are my monthly amount. This Brave publisher sent you 20 BAT. Oh, that's kind of weird. Right? So here's my theory. If you are able to sync your phone-based Brave with your desktop Brave, then the withdrawals will be automatic. If you have not done that yet, you can't right now because sync has been disabled, right? Brave browser, Brave International, the software company, have disabled the sync because it wasn't working properly, and they haven't put it back, right? So you used to be able to go into settings, and there was a sync control where you could sync devices, and I've already done that with mine. But it's not there anymore. You can't add new devices. So the answer to your question, how do you withdraw money from your Brave browser on your phone, is you have to sync it with your desktop browser, and then you have to sync your desktop browser with your Uphold account. And then it will get withdrawn to your Uphold account. That's how it works. But like I said, sync has been disabled. So, and it when it gets re-enabled, we'll all jump for joy, and we can start syncing our phone Brave browsers to our desktop Brave browsers and getting our rewards withdrawn into our Uphold account so that we can spend them. Right? That's how it's going to work. But right now, it's not working. I'm sorry to have to break that to you, but it's not working right now. So you're just going to have to watch your Brave accumulate in your phone until sync is re-enabled. But that's the chain. Phone syncs to desktop, desktop syncs to Uphold. Your Brave goes into Uphold every month, and then from Uphold you can withdraw it to your bank or transfer it to a cryptocurrency wallet. Thank you for answering my question, and I agree. It looks as long as there's an internet, there's going to be cryptocurrency. That's cool. Same here. I watched a couple of great documentaries that got me interested. I've only been in space for a few months, though, but I love it. I have 51 BAT coins. That's pretty good, right? That's really good. I like that. 51 BAT. And BAT is doing well, right? BAT was on a tear the last few weeks. I was wondering if they fixed the sync issue with Brave. Apparently not. I cannot see it in here. Right? They used to have like a control where it said sync, and then you could add new devices, but they took it out. I was like, I remember when I was looking for a few months back, I was like, where in the hell did sync go? And then I Googled and Googled and finally found that they've disabled it. Like on a blog, Brave Software said, we've disabled it. It's not working right. We're working on it. We're going to get it back. But apparently, and it's been a couple months, seems like. So we'll see. But I mean, the Brave desktop browser works just fine, right? You can earn BAT and move it to Uphold. Works great. It's the phone-based version that's having trouble, right? So, but you'll still gain by using your phone-based version over your Google Chrome phone browser and your Safari browser, right? Those things are just like pelted with ads. I have some sites that I read on my phone in Brave, and sometimes I'll, like, I don't remember why I couldn't use Brave or whatever, for whatever reason. I was on a different phone or whatever, but I was reading some articles without Brave, and they were just like horrendous on my phone. I was just getting like these ads were just like really irritating. So Brave browser on your phone really does a great job of blocking ads and trackers. It doesn't block them all, but it blocks the worst offenders. So I still recommend using Brave browser on your phone. It says you are not verified on Brave to receive tip rewards. I am verified. I get, my YouTube channel is verified, and I do get tips from people. You can see here the YouTube rewards. I get these tips. I don't know what they are. 0.95 BAT, which is like 20 cents. I get that a lot. I don't know what I think that means people are donating 1 BAT, and then it gets there's like a fee that they take out before I get it, I guess. Yeah, as you can see, right, I got 0.95. There's 9.5. That must be 10 BAT, right? So I don't know how tipping works. I've never actually tipped anyone in BAT. I should, right? Being a hardy, BAT user and BAT video maker, I should have at least tried to do it. I've never tipped anyone in BAT. But I guess the increments are 1. Here, this one looks like someone did 5, and then there's 10. So, but yeah, I should be able to receive tips. I don't know why it would tell you I'm not, because I get them. In order to get BAT, do I need an Uphold account in Kangaroo? I would assume yes. If you want to get your BAT out of the browser, the only way to do that is with an Uphold account. So I don't know what the Uphold is like in Australia, but usually when you hit withdraw funds, it takes you to Uphold, right? And you can look at this video that I did. I think it's this one, right? How to withdraw Brave. I go through the whole setup there. So just click that link and watch that video, and I explain how you sync up your Brave browser to your Uphold account. And like I think in the video, the first time you do it, if you're not set up in Uphold, it will ask you to either set up an Uphold account or log into your Uphold account. And my advice is go ahead and do the Uphold account separate. Start that, get yourself signed up, and get the wallet set up and connect it to your debit or your bank or whatever you want to do there. Get that going first so that you have an account, and then go over to where'd I go? Oh, I'm in wrong browser. Then go over to your Brave and do your withdraw. And then when it pulls up, it'll say set up Uphold or log in. Then go ahead and log into Uphold. It's better to have your Uphold already there and waiting for the sync. That's what I've found. I think I don't remember, but I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, it's not working, and blah, blah, blah. So better to get yourself connected to Uphold first and then do the sync. And then you'll be able to withdraw BAT. I withdraw BAT every month, right? I get money from BAT from the YouTube channel, right? Because I claimed my creator benefits. Well, we're off the subject of Bitcoin, right? But that's okay. Oh, we still got some time. I was hoping maybe for one more question. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything I can do here. I don't usually go back and forth. Let's see if we can get that 0.0356 out of there, right? So I'm going to go over to this empty Bitcoin account. I don't usually send money into it, but I will. Let's do a receive. Let's hit don't have device. Copy that into my clipboard. Now I'm going to go over to this account. What are we doing here? 0.00356. Let's try that. This is just a demo. Right, there's the address. 0.00356. Now the problem is it's going to take it out of the fees, right? There's going to be some fees added to that. Let's just try that. Let's get it closer to that 0.1 we were talking about. Watch, it'll come out as 0.9999999, which we don't want. All right, so I've got the device attached, and it was already in the Bitcoin app. I know it's kind of hard to see there. It wants me to review the transaction, so I'm going to actually review it and sign it. And I didn't get my camera set up. I should have, but we're kind of at the tail end of this thing here. And then let's see what happens, right? The Bitcoin, what the heck? It's still not, oh, it's pretty close. Look, $878, and the price of Bitcoin is 874. I still have 0.004248. Blech. Not quite there yet, right? But then I should get like that little piece in there. Yeah, see that little 0.03 is in there now. It's just, see how easy it was to move the Bitcoin from one wallet to another? That wasn't right in, it wasn't within my own wallet. I mean, the keys were in my wallet, but the actual transaction went out onto the blockchain. And there was a blockchain account out there on the blockchain that had my Bitcoin in it. And I moved some of that Bitcoin into a different blockchain address, the blockchain address of this wallet. So it looked like it was all taking place within my own wallet, but no, it wasn't. It was actually getting moved on the blockchain by virtue of me controlling the private keys of those addresses. Am I going to build a node for staking any coins? No, John, I'm not. That requires a little too much time, effort, and dedication. Not only to getting it all set up, but to actually needing to run the node 24/7, and also the bandwidth required. So if I were running a node 24/7, then my internet usage would go up, and my internet provider would charge me more, right? I have a pretty good plan, but if I go over my allotment, I think it's a terabyte, then my bill goes up. So I'm not going to go that route, right? I prefer to just kind of show people how to stake. Now, you don't have to run a node to earn money staking, right? Running the node is like a step higher. And your rewards probably go up for running a node. But like I said, it requires time, effort, expertise, bandwidth, and you got to leave your machine on 24/7. So that's a commitment, right? But for a lot of people, some people might feel that's worth it. And, it's passive income. So more power to you if you want to go that route. But no, I'm not going to run my own node. No problem. All right, guys. So we made it for the hour. It's good to have you guys here. Thanks for joining me. I hope I was able to get some of your questions answered. I hope I clarified what a Bitcoin wallet is, how Bitcoin gets moved around. If you got Bitcoin on Coinbase, my suggestion is to move a little bit of it into your own wallet just to see how it works, right? Whatever you feel comfortable with. Most people would say, oh, you should keep your Bitcoin in your own wallet, and that if you've got a Bitcoin on Coinbase, you should immediately withdraw it to your own wallet. I'm not saying you need to go that route. You don't have to go full tilt if you're just getting into this thing. If you feel safe keeping your Bitcoin on Coinbase so you can trade it, more power to you. But I would suggest trying to move a little bit of it into your own wallet. And if you feel comfortable doing that, then you can consider whether you would rather store your Bitcoin in your own wallet or on an exchange, right? But putting Bitcoin in your own wallet is the more pure way of dealing with Bitcoin. All right, guys, so have a great day. Thanks again. Where are we here? Don't forget, I do the live stream on Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me for the live Q&A from Michigan, where you can throw out questions. I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about Bitcoin. And then join me on Tuesday mornings at 9 for Bitcoin Basics, where we try to keep things a little more basic and understandable. And I try to answer those nagging questions in the back of your mind. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.